people don't realize is like, well, it's so hard, it's so hard to come into the country. It wouldn't have been this hard if we didn't have 10 to 20 million people skip the line. Hi guys, welcome to Go See Gail. Okay, so I want to talk about living in Los Angeles and arguing with my neighbors. I don't argue with my neighbors in person. I have no problem doing that, but that's not really what I want to do. And even making these videos, I just do it to create another voice, because for the longest time, people that lean more to the right have had to be quiet. We've had to just sort of bite our tongue and pretend, that we didn't vote for Trump, or even talk about it, or people would think that we were racist and evil and all that. And that got old, and I got tired of it. So I started to speak out. And I remember dating someone during COVID. He worked with a lot of Democrats, and he would just be like, why? Because I would post things. He's like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? You're just going to, you're going to create enemies and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know why I do it. I can't help myself. I can write, and I am a communicator and always have been. And the hypocrisy that I have been living with for the past 5 years has been overwhelming. And I just feel like it's somewhat of a calling. And it's not easy. It's pain in the ass. Even my mom said when I moved out here 20 some years ago, she's like, I did stand up for a really long time. She's like, why did you stand up? It's the hardest thing. Why are you trying to do that? And I never made it as a stand up, because I saw what you actually have to do to make it. And Hollywood's gross. You have to either sleep with people or kiss ass, or just work really, really hard. Or you have to really love to go to open mics and work on your material. And I just hated it, because then you have to listen to other comics constantly. You have to sit there and listen to hacky material for hours every night, and it's draining, And I'm not saying that my shit was always the funniest shit, but all of that just was hard. So I never made it as a stand-up, and it's fine. I don't care. I'm still doing it now. I'm doing right-wing comedy. I'm forming a troupe out here in Los Angeles doing counterculture right-wing comedy. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about talking to people on this Nextdoor app, which is an app for the people to talk about things that are going on in the community. If you lose your dog or cat, you post pictures of your animals and be like, I lost my animals. Or if you have cats that you want to give away, or dogs, or if someone isn't picking up their poop on their lawn, you can be like this, you snap a picture of them and be like, this person doesn't pick up their poop, just stuff like that we can do with this app. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have an app like that for your neighborhood. In this Nextdoor app, a lot of people will bitch about Trump, and they'll say what he's doing is inhumane and terrible to the migrants. And in a way, it kind of is, but in a way, it's not. So I want to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about what I wrote to somebody on here, just because I was like, I'm just getting tired of seeing this shit. And sometimes I just freak out, and I'm not mean about it. I'm just like, this is how I see it. And then lately people will come at me they'll just say mean things to me because I'm, more of a Trumper. But I actually got a lot of people that liked what I had to say, and they're like, finally, a voice of reason. And I got 12 likes. I also got 13 people that are also like, you're a bad, terrible person. How dare you, blah. But I also got a lot of people on my side. So there's hope. There's hope for humanity. Let me show you what I wrote. On the Nextdoor app, somebody wrote something along the lines of, next time you ask why LA is peacefully protesting, why they should come in the right way, and why they do this and that, article this and article that, they deserve it. Just think of this during the pandemic. Who was out there during the fires? Who was still out there? It doesn't take much to see what's really going on. You like our food, you like our culture, you love going to Mexico for vacation, but you don't want to live alongside us as human beings. That's not true. I have tons of Mexican friends that I love. There's a few of them that are illegal that have been here for decades. And I think that the ones that came in over the past, they ruined it for everyone. Just like the movie Cocoon, where the cocoons have special powers. It's from 1985. I did a video about it before. A few people in the neighborhood are, using the pool to get the energy from the cocoon. The cocoon, to me, is America, and everyone's like, people are jumping in the pool and like enjoying America until the rest of the neighborhood learns about the cocoons. They all jump into the pool and they start trying to crack the cocoons, and they suck all the energy out of the cocoons, and the aliens inside of the cocoons die. So what we're saying is we cannot sustain 10 to 20 million undocumented people. We can't sustain it. So they ruined it for everybody.
What are we doing? Please. Come on. Everybody out! Stop! Everybody out! You have no right to be here. You are trespassing here.
So when people get angry about Trump doing what he's doing, don't get angry with him. Get angry with the 10 to 20 million people that came in. Get mad at Biden. Get mad at Mayorkas. Those are the guys that get mad at that auto pen and whoever was running that, because they're the ones that screwed it up for the people that have been living here. So don't get mad at Trump because he's just stopping the bleeding, because we can't sustain it. I don't think we can sustain it. So I wrote a comment. And they hit a lot of my comments. I wrote, because somebody wrote that places that they're taking the undocumented people to are like concentration camps. And it's like, no, they're not. We know what happened at the concentration camps, and that's not what's happening here. And here it goes. I wrote, we didn't want to be, because they were saying, like, remember during the shutdown, thing. I said, we didn't want to be shut down. Our former government did that. Our California government and former administration ruined the economy by shutting down all kinds of businesses. California government made the kids have learning issues because they wouldn't let them go back to school. Our California government forced all of us to get vaccines in order to work, which has created gobs of health problems. I mean, I have a girlfriend that's got a really bad skin condition. I have people that have breathing problems, heart problems from doing it. I did the Johnson & Johnson. I didn't want to do it. I'm tired all the damn time. Like, I'm just always tired. I said the Biden administration allowed 10 to 20 million people come here illegally because they couldn't get votes on their own. What do you guys think about that, by the way? I feel bad for people that have been here and have been doing the work, even if you didn't come in the right way. I'm sorry you're getting lumped in with the millions of people that came in for the past 4 years, but that's an issue that really upsets the majority of the country. You should really take issue with the former administration and their failure to govern properly. The current administration is just trying to fix the former administration's mess-ups. There is no flowery yellow brick road way to do that, unfortunately. The president is trying to figure out a way to allow the illegal immigrants that have been here working on farms for decades to stay. But they're going to have to pay fines, and they're going to have to pay into the system and pay taxes and not just send the money back to their country, because that doesn't help our country. I mean, do you really want to be an American, or do you want to just suck off our system to better yourselves? That's not the American way. And I wrote this too. I said, maybe you're already doing that, and that's great. I sure hope you're paying taxes if you're here illegally, but I sincerely doubt that most of the new illegal immigrants that are coming here are paying taxes. That doesn't help anything. Why should illegals get to keep all their money and then we pay into the system to help them fund their lives when they're not even supposed to be here? And we Americans can't go anywhere without a passport. We can't stay anywhere past our time, or we get thrown out, jailed, or fined. You know, when you come here illegally, that you're taking a chance. And just like life, sometimes things work out for a really long time, and then it's time to pay the piper. Illegals are sucking up a lot of our resources as far as hospitals, education, food, work, and the rest of it go. So yes, the American people would like you to come in the right way. The way we would have to if we went to another country. You know what I mean? If Americans went to any other country, that's how it would be. And I got 12 likes in Los Angeles in a little neighborhood thing. And I got other people saying, yes, Gail. And I talked about taxes too. You know, I know that a lot of illegal people don't want to go through the paperwork to become a citizen. And yeah, you got to pay money. You know what I mean? Like, so do we. Like, just living here, we have to pay taxes, and we're, constantly getting IRS'd. I hate going to the accountant because she'll just be like, where's this form? Where's this paper? And where's this? And what, didn't you bring that? And you need this and you need that. And where's form FR 7253? I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. And I tell my business partner, I'm just always just like, he's supposed to do that. I suck at that. I'm just processing records, But I sit down and I just feel dumb. She makes me feel dumb, but I sit there and I go through everything and I ask all these questions and I never know what the hell she's talking about. And it's like nails on a chalkboard. And I have to do it several times a year. And then when it's all said and done, I'm signing things and writing checks to this chick so that she can give it to Karen Bass, so that she can give it to illegals, so that they can have food cards and credit cards because they're afraid to go to work. Doesn't that sound insane? The illegals are afraid to go to work or to go wherever they go to make their money because they don't want to get deported, but they're illegal. I'm irritated with this lady from CNN because she's just a big mouth. And this is a CNN clip. I don't like their clips because they're like, look at this heading. Ex-MSNBC host stuns CNN Scott Jennings into silence on live TV. Scott Jennings is never silent. He's never stunned, and none of these people ever stump him. Ever. I think he's just stunned by their stupidity, really, because the stuff they say is so stupid. So just take a look.
Deportation camps, concentration camps, foreign and domestic. Those people do not want to see people. It is
Jewish, and it is not offensive.
It is offensive to the Jewish people because that's one of the conversations I had with a Jewish person on Nextdoor. He was saying, both my parents perished during the Holocaust. And so when people call these places that they take illegals who will not self-deport, when they call them concentration camps, it is a slap in the face to the Jewish people because that's not what they are. That's not what they're doing. And they use that rhetoric to upset people and to make Trump look like a monster, and he's not. He's basically saying, hey, self-deport, or we're going to take you here, and then you're not going to really be taken back home, because you're a criminal. Right? You came here criminally and you're sucking off our system. And so if you don't self-deport, we're going to take you to this place. And it's not cool. I would hate it. I wouldn't like it, but I never would just go to another country illegally and try to live there that way. I just wouldn't do it, And I know that a lot of people think this is the greatest country in the whole world. I have a feeling that there are other better countries. I always think New Zealand would be pretty nice, but Switzerland's pretty nice too. But no, he's sending them there to let the rest of the world know that this is where you're going to go if you don't self-deport. So if you do self-deport, you get to go back home, where you get a plane ticket to wherever you want to be or live or whatever, or wherever home is, and $1,000. And then you can start the process of getting back into the country the right way. Another thing that people don't realize is it's so hard, it's so hard to come into the country. It wouldn't have been this hard if we didn't have 10 to 20 million people skip the line. So when 10 to 20 million people skip the line, it's going to make it a lot harder for people to come in legally because our last administration screwed up so badly. So we really have to put the blame where the blame should be, and it's not on Trump.
It's not a death camp.
1,000 texts. People do not.
It's not a death.
I imagine
It's not. Shut up.
All right. Offended by the action of this administration. I wish they were more offended by the action of this administration instead of my language. They should focus on something more important than what I call
disappear.
What's actually happening to people who are
what are you
disappeared
wearing
by a government agency, and none of us should ever normalize.
First of all, she should wear a bralette. Why are you doing? You're a news anchor person. What are you wearing? This is all. Wear I can see your cleavage. Have some decency.
It's something rational to do. My point is, this entire asinine scene of people.
She probably had sex the night before. She's got that. She's wearing that frilly thing because she anyway.
Playing cartoons. No, I won't get the logic of disappearing people, Scott. And I hope
I cannot believe you're minimizing that.
Your point.
I can't believe you're minimizing people being disappeared by the government.
Go ahead, Michael.
Can I jump into it?
He's not stunned into silence because she's intelligent. He's stunned into silence because she's stupid. And saying disappearing, this is a stupid word that you guys use. Disappearing. They're not disappearing. We know where they're going. Next, I like what Judge Joe Brown has to say about how ICE is handling deporting illegals. There's no nice way to do it, you know, because if ICE agents walked up to people that they knew were undocumented, they would flee. They would run. So they have to do what they're doing to get them. Like I said, there's no yellow brick road way to do this.
Point is, this incident, and we're still learning a lot more about it, was very dangerous and put a lot of people, including ICE officers and those immigrants, in danger.
Federal law enforcement agents.
I agree with you, but the tactics are producing chaos and violence, and I think that is one of the things that's caused.
Please, guys, come in. It would be so nice if you would make everything nice and smooth so no one has to act ugly, and it can be all about love. Why don't you just bring yourselves in and we can talk about this over coffee, maybe a little Chablis or something, you know.
So the other woman, she's
I
saying,
love it. I'm sorry I'm gonna laugh over it,
try
but
to physically attack.
I'm sorry, you guys. I just love that. He's so right. There's no nice way to do it. You can't just be like, excuse me. I'd like to see your identification to make sure that you're a legal citizen of the country. Like, no, they're gonna run. You can't do it that way. So it is gonna be like inhumane. I mean, don't you remember as a teenager running from the cops? They're gonna run. That's what they're gonna do. So I like what Judge Joe Brown says. He has a lot of good points, but can you imagine going up to a bunch of people that you know are illegal because you've done your research, and that's when ICE comes in and does the thing. These ICE raids, they know where they're going. They know who they're going after. They're not just picking out brown people. That's just lefty propaganda BS. The reason why a lot of them are brown is because a lot of them are brown. That's not a racist thing. That's just realism. And whether you guys like it or not, whether you think it's mean, it doesn't matter. This is a country that has laws. Karen Bass she's breaking them and doing it in a disgusting way by making these credit cards using our taxpayer money, where we have to sit down and go through all of our paperwork and all of our stuff and then cut a check and give it to Karen Bass and give it to the government, and then she's not writing checks, and creating credit cards and incentivizing people that aren't supposed to be here to stay home because they're afraid to go to work, but they're not supposed to go to work if they're not supposed to be here. It's wildly illegal, hypocritical, and stupid. So let me know what you guys think. I know I do a lot of videos about deportation. It's just one of those things that I live here in Los Angeles. That's why it's a big deal to me. And it's a big thing out here. And what I like is just getting people to start talking about it and not be afraid if you're on the other side. We're outnumbered out here, but we're not outnumbered in the country. Just remember that. All right, you guys, like, share, and subscribe. This is Go See Gail. Have a good night, a good morning, good day whenever you're watching this. I hope you have the greatest day ever. I'll talk to you soon.